Hello, my name is Barbara Lewis with Singing After 40. Welcome. I hope you're having a good day. Today I'm going to give you a tip about moving from a low note in a melody to a much higher note. It's the kind of movement in melodies that a lot of singers have difficulty with. So I'm going to give you a tip about how to think about it and then exercise to practice those movements from low to high-ish to higher and to really high. Stay tuned. I'll be back in about 6 seconds. If you enjoy these videos, please subscribe and like them if you do, and leave a comment if you have one. So let's get right into this. I'm going to take a first note. It's lowish in the female voice. Male voice, not so much. And I'm going to go up an octave. That's 8 notes. So from the low F to the next F. Yeah, 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 yeah. After that, I'm going to go up to an octave plus a fifth. So it's quite a wide range. I'm going to show it to you right behind here on the piano so you can see what it looks like. It'll give you kind of more of a sense. If you're not a pianist and you don't know your notes well, you'll at least be able to see it on the keyboard. So I'm going an octave here. That's the first one. Then an octave and a fifth, which is wide. And then 2 octaves. So this is a very wide range leap. All 3 of them are pretty wide range. The first one you're going to find often in melodies that you'll be singing. The second one is more if you want to do some decoration in your singing, like a little bit of scat singing or improvisation. The third one, you don't find that very often. It's more in classical music, but it's a great thing to be able to do if you want to surprise people in a song. So we're going to do the octave first. Yeah, yeah. So what I want you to think is not so much that you're going from a low note to a high note. If you see it on the piano, it's going to look like this. Here's one note and here's another. And that's a little better for the mind than thinking down here and up there. What happens when you think like that? E, ah. You're doing this E, ah. You don't want to do that. You keep a compact mouth. Yeah, yeah. I'm going from a thicker registration to a thinner one. Yeah, try it. Yeah. This is going to be in the lowest part of your range as a woman. But men, try it too. Yeah, yeah. It's a movement of the tongue, but there's very little movement here. Because if you over-move when you're moving in a broad range in singing, the sound can get lost in your mouth. It's a more complicated thing than that, but let's just put it that way. You don't want the sound to get lost and not know where to go in your mouth to make a ring. Now I'm going to do the octave, so that's 8 notes plus adding 5 more. I'm in a registration that's kind of thick down here. I just let it go. I let there be a little bit of breath, and out comes that note. Hardly any opening. And I don't feel like I'm going from down here to up there. I feel more like I'm just allowing the looseness of the glottis, the looseness of where your vocal bands come together. Just letting a little bit of breath energy there come through. Now I'm going to do the 2 octaves. That's a big shift in terms of energy in the throat. But if you're going from a fairly quiet note here to a fairly quiet note up here, and you'll see it on the piano behind me, then it's not very far. And again, if you can see this, it's very compact. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, final part, and this is going to be short. I'm going to show you the exercise and then leave it to you. The exercise that will really help you with moving through quite wide leaps in your singing, or narrow leaps as well. Some people find going from, say, middle C to G in a song is a little bit iffy. The octave then can be more iffy. So we want to find an exercise that teaches your brain and your throat that all of these notes are within reach. You don't have to go way up there looking for them. And that exercise, one of them, I have several, but just one today, that exercise is very famous and it's the NG. So you move around your whole range on the NG. And that's, if you've seen others of my videos, then you know I've used this quite a bit. But for those of you who don't know, it's like this. It's like the NG that happens when you say sing. So your tongue is sitting perched against your palate, high on your palate. So it's not this sit. There's no air escaping. So you can just noodle around, go from the first note to the second. If you make it an octave, that's 8 notes. Very easy, takes very little breath. So you want it to be a very easy movement, very easy slide. So you're doing octaves now with no effort, really. Should not be a lot of effort. It's a thin little sound. You don't put a lot of extra breath pressure to get to the top. It's very easy. Okay, if you were to do these octaves, octave leaps, from there to there, from here to here, from here to here, you would just do them first on this NG. I'll start down here on the A. So that's the octave and the fifth. You're teaching your brain and your throat that those notes are close together. It's not far, far away. You're not going to go to space. Now you're going to feel a little more pressure. I do. Feel a little more pressure when you get to that top note. It's a lot, the fluctuation up there is a lot faster, but you're not going to use a lot more breath. You're going to try and keep the same kind of breath as you're moving through the lower part of your range, but you're going to feel a little bit more pressure up there. If you want to know more about the NG exercise, I'll put a link up here and down in the description so you can work on just that NG exercise and then apply it to the leaps that you have in your melodies, even if they're little leaps like 1 to 5, then the octave 1 to 8, and then the octave in the fifth. And if you're really demanding of yourself, you do the 2 octaves from down here to along there. I hope this helped you. Barbara Lewis with Singing After 40. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.